The British transport ship is about to leave Egypt for Italy. The 22nd Artillery Supply Company of the Polish II Corps has a problem. A big problem, actually. A 250-kilogram problem. His name is Wojtek. He's a Syrian brown bear, and British regulations strictly forbid pets and mascots on military transport ships. The Poles have been traveling with this bear for 2 years, through Iran, through Iraq, through Palestine, through Egypt. He's family now. They can't leave him behind. So they do the only logical thing. They enlist him. Private Wojtek, serial number 22, official soldier of the Polish Army, complete with service number, military paybook, and a cigarette ration. The British can't refuse to transport an enlisted soldier. Problem solved. The bear sails to Italy, and what happens next at the Battle of Monte Cassino will make him a legend. Because Private Wojtek doesn't just watch his comrades carry ammunition to the front lines. He helps. 100-pound crates of artillery shells, carried in his arms, under German fire, never dropped a single one. By the time the battle ends, he's promoted to corporal, and the 22nd Company changes their official insignia to a bear carrying an artillery shell. This isn't myth. This isn't legend. This is documented military history. Photographs exist. Witness testimony exists. British soldiers confirmed seeing a bear carrying ammunition crates. The Imperial War Museum has a plaque commemorating him. There are statues in Edinburgh, London, Krakow, and at Monte Cassino itself. This is the true story of Wojtek, the bear who became a soldier, the soldier who became a symbol, and the symbol that never forgot he was a bear. Spring 1942, the mountains of Hamadan, western Iran. A young Iranian boy approaches Polish soldiers at a train station. He's carrying a burlap sack. Something is moving inside. The boy's mother has been killed by hunters. Wait, no. The bear's mother has been killed by hunters. The boy found the orphaned cub wandering alone in the mountains. Now he's trying to sell it. The Polish soldiers are intrigued. One of them, Lieutenant Anatol Tarnowieski, is traveling with his great-niece, 18-year-old Irina Bokiewicz. She sees the tiny bear cub and falls in love immediately. They buy him. The price? A Swiss Army knife, some canned beef, and a few bars of chocolate. That's what a future war hero costs. A pocket knife and some chocolate. The cub is barely a few months old. Malnourished, weak, can barely swallow solid food. They feed him condensed milk from an old vodka bottle. It's the only container they have. The irony writes itself. A bear raised on vodka bottles. He'll develop a taste for beer soon enough. They name him Wojtek. It's a diminutive of Wojciech, an old Slavic name meaning joyful warrior, or he who enjoys war. They don't know yet how perfectly the name will fit. The Polish army is in Iran because history is complicated and brutal. When Germany and the Soviet Union invaded Poland in 1939, hundreds of thousands of Polish soldiers and civilians were deported to Soviet gulags, slave labor camps, death camps by another name. Then Germany invaded the Soviet Union in 1941. Suddenly, Stalin needed allies. The Sikorsky-Maisky Agreement freed Polish prisoners to form an army. General Władysław Anders led them out of the Soviet Union through Iran. They're heading to join the British forces in the Middle East. And now they have a bear. Irina cares for Wojtek in the refugee camp near Tehran for 3 months. Then she has to leave. The bear is donated to the 22nd Artillery Supply Company, which later becomes the 22nd Transport Company. His official caretaker becomes Corporal Piotr Prendis. For the next 5 years, Prendis will be Mother Bear, feeding him, training him, teaching him, loving him. The soldiers don't have their families. Most don't know if their families are even alive. Poland is occupied. Home is a memory, so they pour that love into a bear, and the bear loves them back. Wojtek grows fast. The condensed milk works, the fruit works, the marmalade and honey work. By the time he's full grown, he weighs nearly 500 kilograms, over 100 pounds. He's 6 feet tall, standing upright. He could kill a man with one swipe of his paw. He never does. He's been raised by humans since infancy. He thinks he's one of them, acts like one of them, gets into trouble like one of them. He learns to salute. When officers approach, Wojtek stands on his hind legs and raises his paw. The officers salute back. It's hilarious and somehow also dignified. He learns to wrestle. The soldiers wrestle with him constantly. He's gentle, never uses his full strength, never hurts anyone. But he always wins. He loves riding in trucks, sits in the front seat like a passenger, watches the road, terrifies anyone who happens to see a 500-pound bear in a military truck coming toward them. People fall into ditches from shock. The cigarettes start by accident. Someone hands Wojtek a lit cigarette as a joke. He takes a puff, swallows the cigarette, loves it. From then on, cigarettes become treats. He doesn't smoke them like humans do. He eats them, lit or unlit, makes no difference to him. The soldiers include cigarettes in his rations. Official military cigarettes for an official military bear. He also develops a taste for beer, loves drinking from bottles. When the bottle is empty, he holds it up to his eye and peers through the opening, looking for where the rest of the beer went. The soldiers find this endlessly amusing. He sleeps in tents with the men. Later, as he grows larger, they build him a wooden crate. But he doesn't like it, prefers company, sneaks into tents, and sleeps beside the soldiers' beds. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night and realizing there's a 500-pound bear sleeping next to you. The soldiers don't mind. They feel safer with him there, not from enemies, just safer, less alone, less far from home. The Middle East is hot. Water is scarce. Showers are rationed. Wojtek loves showers, loves water, but there's not enough for a bear to indulge. He's banned from the shower facilities. This does not go well. He keeps trying to sneak in. The soldiers have to post guards. One day in Iraq, the shower guard leaves the door open by mistake. Wojtek wanders in and finds something unexpected. An Arab man hiding inside, not a soldier, not supposed to be there. Later investigation reveals he's a spy, sent to scout the Polish camp, locate the weapons arsenal so local dissidents can raid it later. He's crouching in the shower, hiding, waiting for nightfall. Then a 250-kilogram bear walks in. The spy screams. Wojtek is startled. The spy tries to run. Wojtek blocks the door, not aggressively. He's just a bear who wants a shower, and there's a strange human in the way. The spy surrenders immediately, throws himself on the mercy of the Polish guards. Please, take me prisoner. Just get me away from the bear. The Poles are delighted. Their bear just caught a spy. Wojtek's reward? Unlimited shower time for the rest of his stay in Iraq, and 2 bottles of beer. It's not his only mischief. In Egypt, he discovers the camp food store, breaks in searching for his favorite jams and fruits, devastates the place. Cooking oil mixed with flour mixed with grain, chaos everywhere. The quartermaster is furious. Wojtek is unapologetic, just a bear doing bear things. Another time, he steals a washing line full of women soldiers' underwear. Nobody knows what he wanted with it. He just grabbed the whole line and ran. The women were terrified. The men thought it was the funniest thing they'd ever seen. Christmas Eve, 1943. Traditional Polish feast. Wojtek participates, eats everything offered to him, then gets up and walks to the food store again. More devastation, more chaos, more complaints from the quartermaster. The soldiers just shrug. What do you want us to do? He's a bear. February 1944, the 22nd Artillery Supply Company receives orders. They're shipping to Italy. The Allied campaign needs them. They'll board the MS Battery in Alexandria and sail to the Italian port of Taranto. There's just one problem. British military regulations prohibit pets and mascots on transport ships. Wojtek isn't technically a soldier. He's a mascot, a pet, and pets aren't allowed. The Poles refuse to leave him behind. They've been with him for 2 years. He's not a pet. He's family. He's one of them. But regulations are regulations. The British won't bend. So the Poles find a loophole. They officially enlist Wojtek in the Polish army. Private Wojtek, serial number 22, assigned to the 22nd Artillery Supply Company. He gets a soldier's pay book. His pay goes toward his food rations. He gets a serial number. He gets an official rank. He's no longer a mascot. He's an enlisted soldier. The British can't refuse to transport an enlisted soldier. Wojtek boards the MS Battery, sails to Italy, steps onto the docks at Taranto as Private Wojtek, soldier of the Polish II Corps. The bureaucratic absurdity of it is perfect. A bear is now officially part of an army, has rank, has serial number, has rights under military law. The British don't know whether to be impressed or annoyed. They settle on amused. The 22nd Company arrives in Italy just in time for one of the bloodiest battles of the entire war. May 1944, the Battle of Monte Cassino. The Allies have been trying to break through the German defensive line for 4 months. The Gustav Line, anchored by a Benedictine monastery on top of a hill. The Germans are dug in. Every approach is covered by machine guns and artillery. 3 major assaults have failed, thousands dead. The Allies are stuck. The Polish II Corps is assigned to make the final assault. Their job is to take the monastery, storm the hill, break the line. It's essentially a suicide mission. Everyone knows it. The Polish soldiers prepare for death. Write letters to families they may never see again, pray, drink, make peace with what's coming. And through it all, Wojtek is there, sleeping in their tents, wrestling with them, eating cigarettes, being a bear, being family, being home when home doesn't exist anymore. The 22nd Artillery Supply Company has a critical job. They supply ammunition to the artillery positions. 100-pound crates of 25-pounder artillery shells carried from supply trucks to the gun positions, under German fire, at night, to avoid being spotted. It's brutal, exhausting work. Men strain under the weight. The shells are heavy. The terrain is rough. One slip and you're dead. Wojtek watches. He's been watching humans carry things for 2 years. He understands the concept. He stands upright on his hind legs, extends his front paws, indicates his intentions. He wants to help. The soldiers look at each other. Why not? He's strong. He's capable. He wants to participate. They give him a crate, 100 pounds, 45 kilograms. Wojtek takes it in his arms, carries it to the artillery position, sets it down carefully, goes back for another, and another, and another, under German fire. Shells exploding around him. He doesn't seem scared. He seems curious. One witness, British soldier John Clark, later recalls, "Suddenly, a large bear appeared, walking upright on its hind legs, emerging from the trees. It seemed as though the bear was carrying something in its paws. Clark thought he was hallucinating. He wasn't. Wojtek carries ammunition throughout the battle. Never drops a crate, never panics, never flees. He's a soldier doing his job, just like everyone else. On May 18, 1944, the Polish flag rises over the ruins of the Monte Cassino Monastery. The Gustav Line is broken, the road to Rome is open, and Private Wojtek is promoted to corporal. After Monte Cassino, everyone knows about the bear. Allied soldiers spread stories. Journalists write articles. A bear that carries ammunition. A bear that's officially enlisted. A bear that caught a spy. The stories sound impossible. But there are photographs, witness testimony, official records. It's all true. Every absurd, wonderful bit of it. The 22nd Artillery Supply Company changes their official insignia. The new emblem shows a bear carrying an artillery shell. It's painted on vehicles, sewn onto uniforms, displayed on pennants. It's a badge of pride. We're the unit with the bear. We're the unit where a bear carried ammunition under fire. We're the unit that made the impossible real. Wojtek continues serving throughout the Italian campaign. He rides in trucks, scares locals, eats cigarettes, drinks beer, wrestles soldiers, attends military functions. Visiting generals and dignitaries meet him. Winston Churchill allegedly knew about him. Everyone loves the bear, not just as a mascot, as a symbol. A symbol that even in the darkest times, there's room for something absurd and wonderful. Something that reminds you why you're fighting, something that feels like home. The war ends, May 1945. Germany surrenders, victory. But for the Polish soldiers, victory is complicated. The Soviet Union controls Poland now. The government in exile in London is ignored. The communists in Warsaw are in charge. Many Polish soldiers can't go home. If they return, they'll be persecuted, imprisoned, maybe executed. They fought for the wrong side, according to the communists. They fought for Poland, but the wrong Poland, the free Poland that no longer exists. The 22nd Company is transferred to Scotland, Berwick upon Tweed, then to Winfield Camp near the town of Duns in the Scottish borders. They're waiting to see what happens, waiting to see if they can ever go home, and Wojtek waits with them. Still a soldier, still family, still eating cigarettes and drinking beer and wrestling and being a bear. November 1947, the Polish II Corps is demobilizing. The soldiers are scattering across the world. Some go to America, some stay in Britain, some try to return to Poland despite the risks. And Wojtek, what do you do with a 500-pound bear who spent his entire life with humans? They can't release him into the wild. He doesn't know how to be a wild bear. He's been bottle-fed since infancy, raised in tents, trained to salute. He's never hunted, never foraged, never competed with other bears. He'd die within weeks. They can't send him to Poland. The communist government would use him for propaganda. Or worse, they consider various options. Finally, they settle on the Edinburgh Zoo. It's in Scotland. It's safe. It's respected. They can visit him. Wojtek is transferred to the zoo on November 15, 1947. The soldiers say goodbye. Some cry. He's been with them for 5 years, through deserts and mountains and battles. Through the worst and the best of it. They've loved him like family. Now they're leaving him in a cage, but they don't abandon him. Former soldiers visit regularly. They bring beer, cigarettes, treats. They climb into his enclosure, not supposed to, but they do it anyway. They wrestle with him like old times, speak to him in Polish. He recognizes them, responds to Polish commands, gets excited when he hears familiar voices. The zoo staff is horrified at first, then they understand. This isn't a normal bear-human relationship. This is family. Wojtek lives at the Edinburgh Zoo for 16 years. He becomes a celebrity, appears on BBC television's Blue Peter program multiple times. Children love him. Adults love him. Journalists interview the zoo staff about him constantly. He's not just an exhibit. He's a legend. The bear who went to war. Wojtek dies on December 2nd, 1963. He's 21 years old for a bear. He weighs nearly 500 kilograms. Over 100 pounds. He's over 6 feet tall. He's been living in Edinburgh for 16 years. Longer than he served in the army, but everyone still calls him the Soldier Bear. The news spreads. Former Polish soldiers mourn. Some travel to Edinburgh for an informal memorial. The bear who carried ammunition at Monte Cassino is gone. The mascot who became a soldier is gone. The family member who never stopped being family is gone. But the legend doesn't die with him. Statues go up. London, Edinburgh, Krakow, Duns. In 2014, the 70th anniversary of Monte Cassino, a statue is unveiled in Krakow's Jordan Park. In 2015, Edinburgh unveils a bronze statue by Alan Beatty Harriott in West Princes Street Gardens. It shows Wojtek and a Polish soldier walking together, equals, companions, brothers in arms. In 2019, for the 75th anniversary of Monte Cassino, a monument is unveiled in Cassino, Italy, at the foot of the monastery where he carried ammunition under fire. Streets are named after him. Corporal Wojtek Street in Poznan, Poland. Plaques in the Imperial War Museum. Documentaries. Books, an animated film in 2022. His story is taught in schools, remembered in ceremonies, celebrated across 2 countries that claim him as their own. Poland, where he was a soldier. Scotland, where he lived out his retirement. Both honor him, both remember him, both love him still. Why does Wojtek matter? Why does the story of a bear carrying ammunition resonate nearly a century later? Because Wojtek represents something fragile and beautiful about humanity. The Polish soldiers who adopted him had lost everything: their country, their families, their homes. They were exiles fighting for a homeland that was being erased. They had every reason to be broken, every reason to despair. Instead, they raised a bear. They poured their love into something that couldn't betray them, couldn't abandon them, couldn't be taken by politics or war. Wojtek needed them, and they needed him. He was a surrogate child, sibling, friend. He was proof that even in the worst circumstances, there's room for joy, for absurdity, for something that makes you laugh when everything else makes you cry. The ammunition carrying at Monte Cassino is real, verified by witnesses, but even if it weren't, it wouldn't matter. What matters is that a group of displaced soldiers loved a bear so much they made him one of them, enlisted him, gave him rank, fought for the right to take him everywhere they went. And when the war ended, they didn't abandon him, visited him for years, brought him beer and cigarettes, spoke to him in Polish, remembered him until they died. Wojtek the bear didn't understand politics, didn't understand war, didn't understand why the humans around him were sad sometimes. He just understood that these people were his family. They fed him, played with him, slept near him, took him on adventures. He loved them. They loved him. In a world gone mad with hatred, that simple love mattered. Maybe it mattered most of all. Today, if you visit Edinburgh's Princes Street Gardens, you can see Wojtek in bronze, walking with a Polish soldier, 2 companions on an endless journey. Children climb on the statue, take photos, ask their parents who he was, and the parents tell the story. The bear, the ammunition, the cigarettes, the wrestling, the spy in the shower, the lonely years in the zoo. The soldiers who never forgot him. The story sounds like myth, like legend, like something someone made up to feel better about the horror of war. But it's not. It's documented, verified, recorded by the Imperial War Museum, confirmed by British soldiers who saw him carrying crates, photographed dozens of times. Military records exist. His serial number exists. His paybook existed. Corporal Wojtek was real. And that's why the story endures, because reality is sometimes stranger and more beautiful than fiction. Because sometimes the true story is a bear who went to war, who carried ammunition under fire, who never dropped a single crate, who ate cigarettes and drank beer and wrestled soldiers and caught spies and saluted officers, who was officially enlisted because the British wouldn't let a pet on their ship, who lived out his days in a Scottish zoo, visited by old soldiers who climbed into his enclosure to say hello in Polish. War is hell. Everyone knows that, but sometimes in the middle of hell there's a bear, and the bear makes it bearable. His name was Wojtek, private, then corporal, serial number 22, 22nd Artillery Supply Company, Polish 2 Corps. He served at Monte Cassino. He never dropped a crate, and he was a very good boy. Joyful warrior. That's what his name means. He earned it.